Hey, what's up, man? This is pretty cool today. I've got a couple of warriors that are fighting for two belts at Cage Fight Championships, July 20th. I did add the date up here so you guys could see it as we talk here. You guys know this is happening up in Huntsville, Alabama. There is no T, Huntsville, Alabama, and Cody's got a belt at 155. There's a vacant belt at 145. Cody, Sky, 155 is happening in Alabama, July 20th. So, man, hey, Sky, Cody, I know we've done this before on separate occasions, separate fights, but we got you to the main event this week or this month. So, man, first of all, what's up, Sky? What's up, Cody? Thanks so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Like to get out here, talk to the fans, say what's up to everybody. It's a whole experience.
Yeah. Cody, we've done this before. I know you're in the wrestling world, so we cross paths a lot. But, man, fighting for another one. It's good to have you on again. How's it going?
It's always fun to be on, for real. I enjoy it.
Cool, man. So you train in Alabama, Rocket City MMA. Sky, you train at Gracie Clearwater. So, man, Sky, so is your specialty jiu-jitsu or just all around MMA?
Just all around MMA. I've been doing this for a long, long time now. Go out there and stand up and punch people for a while and then go to the ground. And wherever the fight goes, I'm comfortable. So we want to have a slugfest. I'm down for that too. But my ground game is really highly evolved, and I've really been working hard on even making it even better.
That's awesome, man. Cody, I know obviously your background initially started as a wrestler, and now you've obviously evolved into MMA as well. Taking this fight, taking a guy like him, putting your belt on the line, there's risk there, man. So what do you think?
I mean, my background is wrestling. I started out wrestling like since I was 7, but I train like all aspects: jiu-jitsu, boxing, Muay Thai, like striking. So I'm pretty versed in everything. Sky has some of the best like MMA grappling, like jiu-jitsu wise, in the Southeast. Like he does a bunch of like combat jiu-jitsu matches. He's fought in Bellator. He's like really high level jiu-jitsu. I have really high level wrestling, so it might end up being like a striking match for real.
Yeah,
that's what I was reading. Yeah, that's what I was reading. I was just going to ask because if you read like predictions and stuff, and I was trying to read some of that. The chance for Sky, the chance for Sky to win is is in the grappling, and the predictors say if you win, it's by KO on your feet, right? So both of you specialize in both ways. Are we gonna get a bang, or what do you think about those predictions, Sky? They say
I think whoever says it's going to be a KO is an idiot. Yeah, like I've had like over 50 fights. It's if you count the CJJ and everything else and all the amateur fights, and I've never been knocked out. Like the TKOs on my record are fights that were stopped early. There's like
nobody's put you to sleep.
No, nobody's put me to sleep with a punch. And if I go to sleep, it'll be because I don't tap on a choke. It won't be because anybody hits me and knocks me out.
You got something to say?
He's got great power. That's not taking anything away from Cody's power. Nothing against my opponent. But all of those fights, I've been knocked down one time.
So you're not what they call chinny?
No, not by any means. The fans are going to get what they paid for. They're not going to get a guy who just falls down. There's no KO happening. And,
you got something to say about that, Cody?
I mean, like I agree with what he's saying. Like I've watched all his fights. I've did my homework. I've actually been a fan for Sky for years, like he said, as an amateur, like when I very first start coming up, he was fighting for amateur titles, like about to go pro, and he fought for like 2 belts in one night, and then he was like one of the first people from around here in the Southeast to really go to a big show. Like he fought for Bellator. I think he fought Shannon Slack, and that dude's like explosive as hell. And I think it went to decision. I seen
Yeah.
him fight. I was actually on the undercard when he fought Chase Hooper, who's in the UFC, for
He's a bad
Island and
motherfucker.
Impact.
That guy's a
And
bad dude, Chase Hooper.
yeah,
Absolutely,
that
but they stopped that fight early. I gotta say,
yeah,
they stopped that fight early. Cody can tell you, I was far from done. They shouldn't have stopped that fight.
yeah,
Uh,
like I think Chase Hooper won by TKO, but it was definitely stopped early. Like if you watch any of Sky's fights, like he's very hard to finish. He's hard to put away, like by knockout. A lot of my fights are like quick submissions. I think it's definitely gonna be hard to tap Sky. He's got really elite jiu-jitsu. So I if this fight goes the distance, like it wouldn't surprise me at all. Like this is gonna be a war. I'm gonna come out going for the finish right away, like I always do. But it,
I
it it's gonna be a tough fight for everybody.
and nothing to it, but you ain't gonna get me to tap. I'll go to sleep before I tap. You know this. It's like there's no tap in me.
It's gonna be a war
You
for
guys have
sure.
been doing
Like, I
this.
fully expect it.
You guys have been doing this a long time. What happens? So either way, I know both of you have been. Obviously, you have goals. I know you fought in Bellator Sky, which is, I mean, that's one of the next best promotions before you get to the main dance, right? And I know Cody, you got dreams to get up there as well. How does this fight set either one of you up to maybe get some looks at those big promotions like that?
I think like especially for me, so like Chase Hooper fought Sky like either his fight right before he went to the UFC or maybe one more. I think he had signed like a developmental deal with the UFC right around that time, but and then he's fought for Bellator in these big promotions already. So definitely like a win for me would be huge, like uh trajecting me to that point. Like it'd be really big to it helped me get to Bellator, PFL, UFC Contender Series, something like that for sure.
Is that something you've been wanting to get back to, Guy?
So I fought Shannon Slack. When I fought Shannon Slack, he came in over 5 pounds overweight for a 145 fight, and they were supposed to get me another one, and it just never materialized. So after this, I may look at doing some bare knuckle. I was supposed to fight for BKFC last year, and it never materialized. I got injured right before, or so that fight didn't happen. So there might be some BKFC or doing game bread, doing some bare knuckle MMA. Hey, that really interests me. But as far as going to the UFC or going, I might fight for Bellator again. But as you see, they just got rid of Arlovsky being old, and I'm older, so this is towards the end of my career. I want to fight really good, young, up and coming guys. That's why I fought Chase Hooper. That's why I'm fighting Cody. I like to test myself up against the best guys who I think could possibly be future world champions, guys who can go on and be world champions. We definitely see that in Chase Hooper, that he's a possible future world champion. I see that in Cody as well, that this is a possible future world champion. And so, with that said, I'm excited to keep fighting. I'm actually a guy who loves to fight. A lot of guys who fight, they like to be fighters, but don't actually like to fight. I love to fight. Hey, you will see a guy out there. They're smiling, happy to be there. They're like, well, maybe not smiling. El Chivo logo in there, but I love it. I actually love to fight. I've had a ton of fights, and I keep doing it. Um,
And
Cody and
it
I.
goes to show you. It goes to show you how, just like in any sports league, man. You two been fighting and banging for a long time, and and tough motherfuckers, but you're still in the minor leagues, right? Like it's got to be super hard to get there. It's like coming up playing basketball or football or baseball to try to get to the show. You could be, I mean, even if you're in the minor leagues, I mean, how you guys are badasses, but how hard is it to get that shot?
To get to the UFC is really really hard. Hard. There's some more opportunities in Bellator and PFL and some other places is where it's a little bit easier to get on. But as a guy who's been around for a long time, um, finding opportunities is not easy. So I just had one of my friends has finally got a fight set up, and I guess it didn't even happen, but you know they shelve guys. Gustavo Trujillo, one of my good friends, one of the baddest men in the world, has just not had a fight in a long time. It's
It's crazy.
it's
That's
it's like the
unbelievable.
NFL or the NBA. You if you don't make it, you can be right there. You
It's so
know,
close. Cody, because I'm in the wrestling world, and I'm sure because you're in the fighting world, Sky. But I want to ask Cody this: you see, wrestling has really become like the baseline for these champions that are grabbing belts in all these different organizations. And if they weren't wrestling coming in, they're going to train wrestling. How important has wrestling been to your success as a fighter?
Oh, 100%. Like I owe a lot of my success to wrestling. In my opinion, it's the best background to have, but like in this day of time, like everybody trains everything. Um, like everybody has some sort of wrestling, everybody has some sort of jujitsu, everybody has some sort of striking. It's not like the first UFC where it's just like one style. Everyone's pretty versed in every aspect. So, uh, but yeah, wrestling, in my opinion, it's one of the best backgrounds to have, and it's definitely been one of my keys to success, like being able to take people down, control them, uh, submit them, beat them up, whatever.
So yeah, I always ask guys that because obviously being a wrestling guy and a wrestling show, and I never wrestled. I fell in love with the sport through my kids, um, so I've been around it. But it seems like in your guys' world you need to have some of that. Even the grappling guys, right? I mean, the grappling guys, they're doing jujitsu and stuff, but they're starting to study like anti wrestling, right? That's what I heard. I talked to jiu-jitsu guys and they're studying some anti wrestling, or they're going to wrestling camps or clinics just to pick up some wrestling, or wrestling coaches are coming in. I mean, I remember I was at
Yeah,
a wrestling camp in Lakeland with a college coach came in, and there was a girl who was a local fighter, and she came in and came into the camp, and just like another kid, she was obviously an adult and was in there just because she wanted to learn some of the stuff that this coach was teaching to kind of transition into what she's doing.
yeah. Like one thing, like everybody's like well versed now. Like you ain't got to be like elite everywhere, but you have to be pretty good everywhere. Like Scott, for example, he has like very elite jujitsu. Um, he was just talking about jumping into bare knuckle after this. Like that shows like him evolving like over time, like building all skills rather than just like a jiu-jitsu guy. Same thing for this fight. Like everyone knows me as a wrestler, but I know how good Sky's jiu-jitsu is, so it might not be my best option to just take him down and try grappling him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure. And that says a lot, right, Sky? Because there's a lot of opportunity for for jujitsu. I mean, we just had ADCC Open up here in Orlando. You see the no gi, you see the gi, you see the adults, you see the. I've been to local cage fights where it's just there's no punching, it's just submission fights, and there's all sorts of that stuff. And you're like, fuck that, I want to bang. I'm going to go to bare knuckle. Man, it says a lot. Those fights are wild.
I think
Well,
I think Sky also like has his own promotion and does a bunch of combat jujitsu on there.
yeah, I fight CJJ. If you haven't seen the CJJ, it's really, really fun. And after we get this done, Cody's going to come down at some point, and maybe in November or in fight in Tampa, do some CJJ where it's just on the ground, where the bare knuckle people get their just stand up fights for us guys who like ground and pound, and grappling. We do a lot of CJJ down here, so I've had a couple of really good CJJ matches in the last year or two.
That'd be cool, man. You have to let me know when that happens. Hopefully I'm available. I can come down and watch, take some
That
photos,
should
do
be
some cool
that should
shit.
be fun for sure.
That would be awesome. Yeah, because I see that. I mean, there's obviously at a certain level, there's a coach that Daniel works with, my son, and he was a college wrestler, high level, multiple time state champ, and he was starting to train MMA at a gym, and there was a grappling match that was happening, and somebody backed out, so they asked him, "Hey, you want to try it?" He's like, "Sure." I mean, he hit a duck under and a single leg and was around the back of this kid like so fast and did a head and arm and choked him out. It was done. And I'm like, damn. He's like, yeah, I never done this before, but I kind of his wrestling was so high level that I mean, he hit this crazy elbow pass, and it was crazy to watch. Obviously that kid didn't know this. He was dealing with an All-American, right? But it was pretty sick. But yeah, those matches are fun. But man, for you two getting in there and bang, so we're saying no KO, huh? This thing's gonna go the distance.
I'm saying they're not going to KO me. I'm actually not that much of a knockout artist either. So, so I maybe they stop it with a TKO, but hopefully we'll get a ref there that doesn't stop it early, that lets us bang.
Yeah, and Cody, man, you got to keep your knees, your ankles, your elbows, right? Your neck, you got to keep that stuff away from him because
Oh yeah, like it's like both of us. A lot of our wins are by submission, but I feel like that's going to be hard. Um, it's going to be a war regardless of the outcome. I I don't see me getting knocked out. I know how tough Sky is. It's going to be hard. He's got a really good chin. He's really solid on the ground, so it's definitely going to be a test for both of us for sure.
so man, come July 20th, one of you guys are gonna hold two belts. So good. I mean, good luck to you guys. It's always good, man. Maybe both of you jump on after the fight and see how it went. And then I'd love to see you when you come down for the CJJ stuff. And if you do stuff locally with CJJ Sky, man, you can hit me up. I'd love to come down and check it out. Come and watch. It'd be pretty cool. And I have I
Awesome.
don't know if you know, I have a media company where I do photography and all sorts of stuff. So graphic design, things like that. So if you need some help with anything.
Definitely. I'm starting my own promotion. I was working with another company for the last year here, and I started my own thing. So in November, we're going to have our first event, and we're looking at possibly doing an October event now, even before that. But yeah, I'm doing my own promotion. Hopefully, we do a couple amateur events, and then we can start doing pro events. There needs to be another pro organization down here in Florida, and I'd like to bring that.
Yeah, for sure. There's a few of them. I know we just saw just last weekend, there was one that fought up on the east coast of Florida here. And I was seeing a bunch of marketing for that. And It's all good, man. Cody, it seems like you're always fighting when I'm in Fargo. So I still have yet to
I mean,
come.
I don't pick the dates. They get offered. And, Huntsville's my hometown. This was the next card, and then like I feel like Sky's he's actually a fight I've been wanting for a while. So like I grew up a fan, and then like I always looked up to him like coming up. He was at the top level when I was first getting into it, and then when I was toward the end of my amateur career fighting for AMI belts, he was fighting like Chase Hooper on UFC Fight Pass, and I was on the undercard, and I actually talked to him after that, and I was like, whenever I go pro, it'd be an honor to fight you. And he was like, yeah, for sure. And then I was on one of your interviews with someone else, and he came on here also.
Oh, Sky came on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
I
like a
was.
couple years ago.
Yeah, we've done this before. And there's a guy, I'm trying to remember his name. He's in the UFC now. The first time I ever interviewed you when Donnie was coming up there to fight, and he got
Trevor Creek.
Yeah, man, that guy.
Yeah.
He's man. I know he just lost that one fight. That was his first loss in the UFC, but he's
Yeah,
something. That
he's
guy
a
doesn't get
savage.
knocked out either.
Yeah, he's a savage for real. He's in Colorado training with Dwayne Ludwig with Bang Muay Thai now. So definitely expect some like huge improvements in his game with that. Like he's gonna be an animal.
Trevor Peak, that first fight he won, man, he looked like he was down and out, and he came back. Did you see that fight, Scott?
No,
This kid,
I don't
kid
really
was getting
watch.
beat to death. No, you like banging him. Does that guy still have the promotion?
Sam, he's not doing shows right now. Like he just opened up a new gym. He's training people. He hasn't said nothing to me about doing any more shows as of right now. No, but
Seems like a super cool guy, man. Seems like a nice guy.
yeah, I think he's just enjoying being a dad right now. And then he just started back training people. So he's just being happy right now. It's stressful doing fight stuff.
Yeah.
Running a promotion is a whole lot. Like it's real work.
That's cool, man. Well, hey, good luck to both of you. I know you guys are going to go in there and beat the shit out of each other, and may the best man win. May the best man that night win, right? And
right.
it sounds like if it goes to the ground, seems like you believe Sky's got the advantage there with jiu-jitsu. If it's up banging, it seems like you got the advantage
I didn't say I think he had the advantage. I just said, like, you don't really want to take a fight where it's you want to take a fight where it's easiest, not exactly where you're best. And I know that's his best aspect. So, and that's like my strong point too. So, I'd rather take the fight where it's easiest, which I'm sure it's going to hit the ground at some point. But
yeah, both of you are ground and pound guys, right? Both of you are ground and pound guys, right? So at some point,
ground
a
and pound
wrestler.
submission. Like I have several first round submission victories. Scott does as well, so it'll be a war regardless of where it goes.
And when you're saying that, that means that your strength is wrestling, which is the ground, and you took a guy that's his strength too. You didn't try to go after a guy that is a boxer where I can take a boxer down. That's going to be easy. You went to a guy that actually can fight you at your level.
Like my jiu-jitsu is good too. Like I used to train at Tried Martial Arts. It's one of the best jiu-jitsu gyms in the Southeast. Daniel Bryan he competed at EBI. Now I train at jiu-jitsu at Alliance with Austin Broach, who Alliance has. I think they have the most jiu-jitsu world championships. And their HQ's in Atlanta, and that's where he's from. And he's like an absolute savage. So my jiu-jitsu is like really good too. Like,
but with with a guy like that, you're going to find out how good your jiu-jitsu is, right? I mean, is that kind of what you were saying? Like, here's a guy where his strength is jiu-jitsu, and you took a guy that contest you.
Yeah, it's I think we're gonna both test each other in all aspects. Like he's a veteran, he's fought on the big show where I'm trying to get. I definitely need this win to propel me to that level. So like it's gonna be a war regard. I'm like training my ass off. I'm not coming into this expecting it to be an easy fight. Like I'm currently at the gym right now. I just finished up like right before this. And then I'm gonna train again tonight. But like I'm not expecting a 30-second win by any means. I think this is gonna be probably my toughest fight yet, because just how I know the work I'm putting in, but I know how tough Sky is, so I'm not gonna like
Gonna be a
come in
good one.
overconfident or anything like that.
Guy, man, what do you want to say before we jump off?
Nothing. I've been through there. I've been through 5 rounds of a fight before. You know, like I sent you that video to watch of the title fight where you know I feel like I should have a belt around my waist already. I feel like I've
Are you talking about the Rodney Allison fight? Or
yes,
yeah,
yeah.
so I actually watched that with my coach the other day, and I think it was 4 rounds to 1, but there's no way it should have been anything other than 3 rounds to 2. So I might have to go take that dude out for you afterwards.
there, there you go, man.
I like
Yeah,
it.
you know, I really want a nice mantelpiece. You know, I've really been going after it, trying to get a title. So I really appreciate Cody giving me the opportunity. I really, he's training hard. I'm training hard. You know, I stay on the gas. You know, Cody's got a wrestling background, which I think is really great. It really teaches you how to work hard, and wrestlers go and get that endurance. Well, I have a background in long distance running, and I was a long distance runner in high school and into college. And so I've got that endurance. I really can't wait to get out there and make it.
And he's coming down, right, to meet you at a good
Yeah,
at a,
150.
yeah. That's awesome, because he could have said fuck it, right? No, I'm not doing that. And he was like, yeah, I'm all in.
Well,
I mean,
I had to come up to my weight. You know, I haven't fought at a fight scheduled for over 155 pounds or for over 145 since the amateurs. So, you know, this is my first time agreeing to come up to this weight. I fought Shannon Slack when he missed weight by 5 pounds, and was,
But it wasn't planned.
but it wasn't planned. So, you know, and after this, I'm probably going down to 135. I'm going to be fighting at 135. So, you know, I appreciate him coming down on a little bit, but you know, more on my end, I got to fight the guy who's bigger.
Awesome. Well, man, hey, you guys go in there, have fun, beat each other up, and good luck to both of you. And I appreciate you coming on here.
I appreciate you having us.
Yes, sir.